Hey guys, Shunji Akuma here, and welcome to the first part in a series I'm going to be creating. This is going to be the ultimate new player guide. I'll be going over everything from character creation, where you'll learn about stats and whether they matter or not, to abilities and cross-class abilities, to where to level most efficiently and as quickly as possible, as well as every starting town and what is in each starting town. So, without further ado, let's begin. The first thing you're going to want to know is what server you're going to play on. They just recently added this thing called data centers. There's a total of 6 data centers, and in each data center, there's worlds. Now, depending on which world you want to play on or server, it's going to matter on which data center you're on. So, if you want to play in Garuda server, you must click Data Center Elemental. I'm on the Aether data center because I play on Midgarstorm. Thus, I'm going to choose this one. So make sure you know what world you and your friends want to play on before you even begin to create a character. After that, just proceed and you'll be set here. You'll create a new character right off the bat. Now, this load appearance section right here, you can click it or not click it. I'm going to explain it here momentarily, so don't worry about it. Just click OK, and you'll first pick your race that you want to be. Now, race in this game actually has stat points connected to them. So, this first race, which is basically the human race, is going to have completely different stats than this race, which is basically the elf race. So, if you choose, say, the elf race, just click continue. Each race has a clan, and there's 2 clans total. Now, depending on which clan you choose will depend on which starting attributes you begin with. So this first one, the Wildwood, is completely different than Duskwipe. So this last one here starts with 20 strength, whereas this first one starts with 19 strength. Now this is completely different between every race. So let's look at this first one, has 19 strength. Let's go back and look at the Lalafell, which is the small race. Their first small clan only starts with 18 strength. However, their second clan only starts with 17. So every single race and clan determines what starting attributes you have. Now, everyone freaks out about starting attributes. Do not worry about starting attributes unless you're trying to get the best stats possible for that exact class that you're going to play. So if you're a min-maxer, meaning you want to get the highest minimum hit and the highest best hit you can get for, say, an archer, you'll want to find the race that has the best dex attribute starting off. The difference between every single race for stats at in-game is between 1 and about 6 stat points. It's not that much, and your skill will completely outdo someone who has 6 more attribute points than you. So do not stress about this at all. So for this guide, let's just choose this race and continue. You will be set here, which will let you choose how you want to basically look. So your hair, face, jaw, eyes, everything. They have so many different things. You can even do lip color. It's insanity. So choose what you want to look like and then press confirm. Now, this is where that at the beginning where I was talking about the saving data appearance comes in. So you can save this exact look. Say for you want to play this Lalafell, the little class or race. You can save how you look, how you just created, in case later you want to create another Lalafell for a completely different class. So for now, let's just say yes. And this is where you can save it. I've already saved a set for my class that I've created, so I'm going to save it in this one. You can put comments in. So say for instance, this guy has blue hair. So this is a blue-haired Lala, okay? Then I can save it. So next time I come in, I'll know this is the blue-haired Lala, and I can click that and it'll create it automatically without me going through that entire process again. Now after that, you get to make your birth date basically. Your birth date doesn't matter. Once again, just choose whatever you want to. If you're really into role-playing, this is really nice to have. It actually tells you everything you need to know about the calendar and what each thing is, okay? So just choose what you wish and continue. This is the place where you choose your quote-unquote god. There's quite a few here to choose from, and each god has different elemental attributes. So this has 50 fire, this has 54 ice resistance, wind, earth, etc. Now, between the first two, there's absolutely no difference. They just have a different lore. However, this third one has completely different than this second one. So if I put my cursor over the second one, these are the stats of the second one. So say, for instance, look at the very last one. It has 52 wind. The one right next to it has 54 resistance, okay? This doesn't matter at all, but if you really want to min-max and you're really into which god does what and lore, by all means, choose which one you think sounds the best and continue from there. After that, you actually get to choose what class you want to do. Now, there's not only these 5 classes. At first, when I first started, I thought that, and I derped later. So, there's 2 different types. There's Disciples of War and Disciples of Magic. There's 3 Disciples of Magic, 5 Disciples of War. Now, Disciples of War do, well, non-magic damage for the most part. These classes are the Gladiator, which is a tank class. It's the sword and board class. Pugilist, which is a fist weapon, fast attacking melee DPS. They explain it up here in the top left. Marauder is a 2-handed axe tank. The Lancer is a melee DPS that uses a lance. The Archer is a bow user. If we go over to Disciples of Magic, the Conjurer is a healer class. It's basically a white mage, which is what it turns into later. The Thaumaturg, which is a magic damage class like a black mage, which is what it actually turns into later. And the Arcanist. This class actually has 2 paths. It can be a summoner, which actually has 3 different types of summons: a tank class, or a tank summon, a melee DPS summon, and a ranged summon. And it also uses dots as its majority damage. It also turns into a pet healer class. You get a fairy that helps you heal. Now, something to know about which class you choose is this determines which starting zone you also begin in. So, if you and your friends want to start in the same starter zone, you must pick certain classes so you start in the same zone. The cool thing is, however, you do eventually get to see each other if you do not start in the same zone, but if you want to start at level 1 and level up through the entire game together, you must choose specific classes. So, the classes that start together are these. If you pick an Arcanist or Marauder, you'll start in a town called Limsa Lominsa. However, if you choose an Archer, Conjurer, or Lancer, you begin in a town called Gridania. If you choose a Thaumaturg, a Pugilist, or a Gladiator, you'll start in a town called Ulda. Now, if you want to change classes at any time in this game, the coolest thing about this game is this one character we just created, this Lalafell, can be any one of these classes at any time they want to be. So say I enter as this Arcanist. The way, say I'm like, oh, I don't really want to be an Arcanist. You can either recreate it since you're only level 1, or you can equip the weapon which that class uses, and it instantly turns you into that class. So say for instance, I chose an Arcanist. In my starting zone, I'm going to have a Marauder as the other place I can get. So I would have to equip a 2-handed sword, and I can instantly become a Marauder. That is the coolest thing about this game, in my opinion. Also, if you want to know, a lot of people are really into how a character looks in game. If you want to know how this character is going to look at max level 50, down here you have multiple options. There's pose, attire, and environment. Under attire, there's 3 choices: race, job, and small clothes. Small clothes is naked, okay? What you want to do is click job, and it will show you what your class that you just chose, which was Marauder currently, will look like. Every single one of these classes turns into a job. It's basically like at a certain level, you just become this. You do a quest. I'll explain it in another video. Do not stress about it. So if I want to know what the sword and board tank looks like at end game, or the melee DPS, and so on. Now the gear looks much better later. This is just the starting gear you get once you hit max level. It's pretty interesting. I like it a lot. The environment doesn't really matter. This is just to show you what your character will look like in different backgrounds. And standing position is just your unique Lalafell standing position, or just straight up standing. Once you've completed that, simply click confirm, and you'll get to choose which server under the data center that you chose. So if you say, for instance, knew you wanted to play on Goblin, you chose this Aether and Goblin right here. And if your world's not here or it's full, just update. And if it's not here, make sure you chose the right data server for the specific server. Okay? Now, just click confirm, and you'll get to choose your name. Now, you have a forename and a surname. A forename is your first name, and a surname is your last name. So you can also actually generate names if you want to by clicking this little dice down here. which is perfect for people who, like me, struggle creating names. So I'm just gonna click this name here and click confirm. And now it's gonna ask you, are you sure you want this character to go into the world and begin your game? Two things to make sure you did correctly: which world you're on and which class you chose. The reason for this is because you want to make sure you can be on the same world as your friends, and if you want to start in the same zone, it tells you actually right next to the class. Okay, so Pugilist will start in Ulda. So make sure your friends are in the same zone with you. Then click OK. And I'll see you in the next episode, where I will describe everything under the character tab, such as stat points, what they mean, and where each class should place every single stat point. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Final Fantasy XIV content. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, where I post about my upcoming content and answer all of your Final Fantasy XIV questions. As always, guys, I'll see you next time.